زقر الليالي على الأقدام واستحلل القيامة مدد
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العظيم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك نبينا وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. Once again, another year goes by with a splendid Muslim. And again, as Zuleika said, can only thank everybody who's come from far and near to bringing all the angels and all the barakah for us here. And really it's a splendid occasion, and this morning was such a confirmation of, it was such a confirmation, can you hear me at the back? Yeah? It was such a confirmation this morning of the gift that we've been given, and the extraordinary movement that one sees in people and in their hearts and in what they're doing. And it was a very moving affair. I was going to talk about really that the gift of the Muslim is an enormous opportunity for change. I see that is happening anyway, because it is the place where the heart is moved, and it's a place where the habits can be changed, because as the years go by we build up our habits, and we build up our habits of how we see things, and part of the path is continually breaking habits. This is a great deal of the path. The Sheikh's job is to break our habits. This is why he's moving continually. And of course the self, which as we know is an illusory experience in self, wants to cling on to the habits. And therefore we need great trust to carry back with us and to remember everything that we've given. We also need great trust to go back, and as we all know what is happening in the world, that we know the world is changing incredibly fast, that we may have enormous difficulties to face, that we don't know what is going to happen. And so it's like I was saying that the wali's great dua is keep me in change. Keep me in change. And indeed I think the world is going to keep us in change. But for this we must have enormous trust. And I was thinking how in Quran Allah Ta'ala addresses the Muslims as Ya ayyuhal mu'minun, O you who believe. But I much prefer the translation, O trusting ones, because this is what we've been given. We've been chosen as the trusting ones. And so that means we are the ones who trust in Allah, in His books, in His angels, in the prophets, in the akhirah, and in the balance, and in the decree. We trust in the decree. And Ibn Ajiba, he says, you have not tasted the sweetness of Iman until the heart is cured of the sickness of anxiety, irritation, and impatience with the decree. So we have to learn, we do have, actually, and may Allah give us more, trust in what is, trust in the future, trust in what is coming, and trust in Allah in all His contrary names. Because we know that Allah comes to us with Ar-Rahman. We know Allah is Ar-Ghafur, therefore we forgive ourselves, we forgive the other. We trust in Allah's forgiveness because He will forgive us. We trust that Allah is Al-Latif, we know He's the kind, the generous, the all-pervading. And we trust in His contrary name, Al-Qabid. We trust the constrictor, because Allah constricts us. At times Allah comes and this is the change. Allah constricts our hearts and constricts our circumstances, and we know that everything is surrounded by Allah's mercy and that it's for us. Allah says, Rumi says, he says, you know, that you learn to fly in constriction. he talks about the birds. And he said, look at the birds in their nests. The parents push them out and they fall. They start falling, and in their falling they learn to fly. And then he says, your hand, it opens and closes, it opens and closes. If it were always a fist, or always stretched out, you would be paralyzed. And so it is with the heart. And when things happen to us of difficulty and the constriction, it's like we mustn't be afraid of being broken by events. We mustn't be afraid of, we mustn't, look in the Diwan, look, if we study the Diwan, he said, my best state is when I'm in a state of helplessness, when I cannot even get something for myself. And in Nahnu Fi Rudat, he says, I come to you broken. And I know for myself the knowledge that I've been given is when I've been broken. So we cannot be afraid of this. This is one of Allah's names. So trust, I was thinking how now, because so often we know these names, we know Tawakkul, we know these names on the top of our tongue, and we can say it, and it become a habit saying it. You know, we know the names, we know it. But I was thinking, I want it really. I want real trust. And I was looking at my grandson and his trustingness, because there he was, not caught in the fears of the future or the sadness of the past. And then I thought of the hadith that the Rasul said about if you were to really trust, he would provide for you like he provides for the birds who go out hungry and come back satisfied. And it reminded me of the past, how we used to drive off to Morocco with really nothing in our pockets, and very, very little, and we'd get there, and amazing things would happen. It would happen. But then the birds, I was watching the birds and thinking, the birds are not unaware of danger. That doesn't mean they're stupid. You know, they fly and they land, and then you watch them and they've got this little darting look. They're looking for danger, you know, they look, poking their heads around before they pick up whatever they're picking up. And that is trust. And so it's trust when the things change. It's trust when your body gets older, when your body stops working. Trust when your money runs out. Trust when the event that you don't like happens. All these things were given to us to learn trust. And it's not that we don't feel the fear. It's not that we don't feel the sadness. It's not that we don't have feel. This is human, what Allah has put in our hearts. We are human. We feel these things. The Prophet ﷺ was sad. We know when Ibrahim, his son, died, tears fell from his eyes. And we know that he spread his hands across the grave like this. And he was asked, why do you do that? And he said, it has no meaning. It just soothes the heart. This very human, very, very human quality. But it's not trapped by it, not caught by it, not engulfed in it. Moves on and trusts and knows that it's from Allah. And it's for you. There was a nice story on trust by Ibn Ajiba. No, not Ibn Ajiba. Excuse me, I've forgotten his name. But one of these great walis. And he said there was a man in Jeddah, and he went to sea. And it got very rough, and the sea was rolling around, and he needed to go to the bathroom. And he came on deck, and he slipped. And as he slipped, he called out for help, and there was no one there. And he slipped, and he was holding on. And then as he slipped into the sea, he said, ذَلِكَ تَقْدِيرُ الْعَزِيزُ الْحَكِيمُ. That is the destiny of the wise, Aziz al-Hakim, the strong, the wise. And as at that point the captain came out and saw, an enormous bird came down and picked him up and put him back on the deck. And the man said, what was that? And the bird came on his shoulder and said, I am the destiny of Al-Aziz al-Hakim. And the next day, the captain came up to me and said, please do it for me, you're the special man, you know, you're extraordinary. And he said, I am not a special man. When I saw that there was no one to call to, I accepted, I put my trust in my destiny.